Thank you all for being here. We're very excited today to show you the work of four of our amazing exhibitors. Today, I can't believe it's already almost day 4 of Cadaf Online. And we have so much to share with you. We will be hosting these tours on a daily, almost daily basis. So stay tuned for other ones that are coming up. So how this works is I'm going to be sharing my screen, and we will be going through the booths of each artist, and each of the exhibitors will give you a quick run through of their booth of around 10 to 12 minutes. So it's our second edition of Cadaf Online, and we're very excited to share our new platform and our new interface. Here you can see as these are the booths. So we have an interactive floor plan that you can zoom in and zoom out. And it's divided here by the sections where you can search by medium, price, or more. In this section, you can watch the Cadaf TV that we have cultural programming streaming throughout the whole duration of the fair. And when you visit the fair, here you can see our list of exhibitors that you can visit their booths, or you can also chat directly with the exhibitors, sending them messages or leaving your email in the address book so that they get in contact with you. So I think that being said, I think we can start. I'm very excited to hear about all these amazing artists. So we are starting today. Sorry, my screen when I share is a little bit slow. Oh, I think my computer decided to. Give me 1 minute, please. One minute. Just pulling everything up. So we can start with Tempsspace that we have here, Tom and Olivia. So hi, Tom. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, how you doing?
So I'll pass it on to you, and you just tell me where to go, where to navigate, what to zoom in, what sound to turn on, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for including our booth in Cadaf 2021. So Tempsspace is a project that I started in a physical space in Montreal, and then during the pandemic, it became a great opportunity to move it online. So it's principally a web VR space hosted on Mozilla Hubs, but we have decided to represent ourselves in a commercial entity with this project. So we have a selection of our individual works, and we have this new collaboration which we've produced. So I go by the artistic name Monolithic, and there's Olivia McGilchrist, but together we exhibit as Image Event. So this video on the big screen now is our latest piece. It's called Planar Intersect. And what to say about it? Yeah, do you want to say something?
Yeah, basically, Andrea, if you don't mind, maybe you could switch to one of the different clips. Basically, we created a new piece, which is essentially a video work, Planar Intersect, the same piece Tom spoke about. And we decided that our first NFT for that, we would actually make 3, and decided to create 3 shorter sections of this work. So in other words, it's a triptych. So again, we both work with digital mediums. I'm coming from a photographic and then video installation background. Tom is coming from a sculptural background. And so with this piece, we tried 2 new things. First, to really create a piece together, and secondly, to see how it would fit and how it would make sense on the YAAK and YAAK platform. So you can find the link when you click the buy NFT there, and you'll see those 3 new works on there. So it's actually really exciting to have it here, as well as on the platform, which is all, like happening at the same time. In terms of our own individual practices, we have quite different approaches, but we've been working together since Tom created the Tempsspace project. So I can speak a little bit more about my own work, but I don't know if you want to start with yours.
So should we start talking about the collaboration or individual works?
You can talk about the collaboration if you want.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you don't mind clicking on any of the videos and maximizing it.
Yeah.
In which
Yeah.
one?
That one is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
yeah.
fine.
So yeah, I mean, we're trying to start to approach this NFT sphere and figure out how to work with it, and the ideas of, you know, the kind of systems and spaces that this type of work moves in, and it's kind of predominantly non-material, entirely digital kind of base, and then trying to relate to that with our own practices. So, you know, this video represents a kind of navigation of the spaces images create. Mm-hmm. So we took images from our own practices and then spatialized them, put them in a 3D environment. And then this is a kind of recording of navigating these spaces, using lots of effects and filters and everything that we kind of wanted to include. But I think it speaks well to both of our practices, as well as being kind of a completely new departure. Mm-hmm. I mean, one thing I want to highlight is the camera movement is not generated, you know, it's human. It's based on mouse movement for now. I've done other work which is based on VR camera head movement, mm-hmm. But for now this is based on mouse movement. So it kind of directly relates to these kind of these ways of navigating a kind of digital environment based on attention, and how kind of attention is monetized, and how attention is the kind of, I'm not sure how to put this, you know, the source of income and the source of validation in some way for digital media. So, you know, it's navigating the space where the camera's looking at which points is kind of the narrative aspect that started to come out through this collaboration.
Yeah, and also just to be aware, this piece in itself will evolve. I mean, what you're seeing now is just a very short 20-second clip, but again, inspired by our research and really observing how a lot of artists or creators who post and share and mint and swap and burn their work as NFTs have, from what I've seen so far, again, I'm new to this realm, you know, relatively short loops. We really started to think, you know, how can we make something that really fits that platform? So it's an ongoing exploration in that world, and hopefully this you know, fits what we want to do in there, and we'll try and make it work. Maybe you could come out of that and maybe just navigate through a few of our individual projects. So we have some, mostly everything else we're presenting are prints. So they're available for sale in limited editions, different sizes. You could start with that one. That's wonderful. That's actually one of my images. I work in virtual reality, and this is one of the earlier iterations of an ongoing project entitled Virtual Islands. I'm currently a PhD candidate at Concordia University, and I'm exploring the notion of hybridity through VR from my mixed heritage, which is not visible, but I'm both from the Caribbean and from Europe and based in Montreal. So I'm really thinking about how the physical landscape and the space on the edge of the water is a place of reconnection with all sorts of different ways of understanding the self. So what you're seeing here is a screenshot within the Unity 3D game engine that I work with, where I inserted 360 video within geometric shapes that you then in VR get completely overwhelmed by. So you're in 3D and you go into 360 video. So again, playing with all these different ways that immersion and submersion, which is a term I love, can make you feel reconnected or disconnected from a space which you don't usually navigate in this way. So that's for that image, and the work is ongoing. So what you see in the rest of the booth are different elements from this ongoing project. So I carefully selected the one below. Well, I'll just finish speaking about mine, and then actually, if you just go to the one on the right with the person moving, that one, and I'll no, just keep going down. This one there, So in the most recent explorations I've been working on, I've been exploring the use of volumetric capture to include the body in a much more 3D manner in my virtual reality work. So this is an experiment. It's a self-portrait in with a depth capture and then a slight transformation to make it more abstract. So these are things that you'll see, if you follow my work, you'll see more of in the next few months and years. And so, Tom, I don't know if you want to speak about your own work.
I mean, maybe you should continue. Just
okay, well,
choose another one.
I'll choose. Yeah, if you go down, Andrea, you can go to the the one on the right, on the that just below the line below. Excuse me. Yes, exactly.
Sorry, the still image to the right of that one. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Andrea. So essentially, this is just to highlight. I'm exhibiting here still images, which I've printed and I'm quite happy with, taken from these 3D environments that are hybrid environments in which I bring volumetric self-portraits and different shapes, different models, and I also play with 360 video when possible through shaders. So I'm really excited about, as someone coming from the frame and from the still image, I'm really exploring things in my own way in 3D and in interactive, immersive environments, but I still like to come back to the still and extract images that I feel are meaningful and represent the work I create in these worlds. And again, it's an ongoing project. So these are finished pieces, but they're part of a much larger project, which again, if you go on my website and you can contact me, ask me any questions, I'm happy to answer. So Tom, I'll pass over to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, maybe the first image is the red canvas piece. Yeah. So this is an early work from mine. Also, I'm exhibiting, selling digital print. And so this was an early work for me, 2018, considering the speed that everything moves in digital art. So I've been exploring photogrammetry for about 5 or 6 years. And for me as a sculptor, I'm interested in how it kind of closely resembles a material process, actually. You put in a lot of source imagery, it creates a model. There's always some strange thing that happens that you have to deal with, and it often ends up informing the kind of final work. It has an interesting mix as a medium between kind of scientific hyper-accuracy and also ambiguity. So artistically, it's very interesting, and that's why I talk about it as a medium, because perhaps like clay or other types of material, it kind of has a life of its own. It kind of develops its own look. So I've tried to exemplify this in some works. So this is called Extraction, and it's a scan made from a collapsing kind of canvas bag. So it's a material that's in the process of moving whilst being captured. So it's kind of exemplifying these misalignments that can happen in photogrammetry. And I kind of went around the model and chose interesting angles to make stills from. So as a sculptor, I kind of always end up coming back to the material and the experience of the material in space. 3D scanning, moving into 3D scanning and then ending up doing digital print was great kind of in the beginning, but I was kind of looking for some other way of experiencing it spatially. So, more recently I'm exploring photogrammetry scans in kind of virtual reality and web VR stuff as well. So yeah, maybe for that one we'll move on. There's the image of the bell, which is further down, maybe at the bottom. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, kind of this is a scan of a bronze bell that I also made. So the levels of involvement in this end result image is very, very, very involved in the whole process. Like I made the bell, cast in bronze, I scanned it, then I cleaned it up, and then I made the render. So there's a whole material and kind of digital process that's gone into making this imagery, and that's something I'm kind of interested in, how 3D scanning fits into general kind of 3D modeling practices, which tend to be, favor kind of, or is it Aristotle's kind of primitive geometry, that type of thing. Whereas photogrammetry really is not that. It's quite messy, and it kind of produces unexpected results. So that's another reason why I'm interested in it. So this has kind of gone through a process of kind of being cleaned up and finished, but in fact, they've left aspects of the kind of unfinished nature, which I think highlight the materiality. So, the unfinished patina on the surface and the discolorations from the massive heat process that you have to go through to create bronze sculptures. So rendered as a render and printed on cotton, so you can kind of see this great gradient between the light and the dark, which doesn't really come out in a digital image at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
but that's fine. Maybe next, moving on, slight departure, maybe the gas mask piece, which is the kind of second down from right.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. So there's a few elements to this. This is quite involved. This is a sculpture. Oh, the crop is unfortunate. Anyway,
maybe show the video.
Maybe go back and just show the kind of whole image.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that's fine. So I'll start with this still. So this is a video sculpture, and it's a new material process that I kind of taught myself of blasting the surfaces of objects to turn them into surfaces for video projection. So it's a kind of an everyday object in that it's a soda bottle, but it's also my facsimile or recreation of an actual object, which is a handmade gas mask made from a cola, made from a soda bottle. And it was actually used in protests, the original object. So I scanned it, and it's been kind of something I've been trying to relate to for a number of years. And I'm currently in the process of making a virtual reality artwork about the material culture of protest called Gas Mask VR. You can find information on my website. Yeah, so that's good. So this is an example of the video. So this is kind of a screen grab. It's kind of artifacting quite a lot through this stream, but that's okay. This was like an earlier example. So yeah, with the sculpture, gas mask, the video sculpture, the video that gets projected onto it will be updated as the VR artwork gets developed throughout the year. So you're kind of buying like an iterative piece. There's iterations of this video. And this version, it's using just free 3D body scans. But I'm currently working with individuals to do 3D scanning of them and capture their motion capture information as part of the wider development of the piece. So the video will be re-recorded, and then this will what will be projected onto my version of the gas mask, as it were. And so yes, the proceeds from this will all go back into developing the VR artwork. And maybe you can click on the image at the bottom of the same kind of four. Yeah, that's it. That one, yeah. So it's exhibited in Hollywood and Los Angeles at Hunter Shaw Fine Arts in October last year, along with some other really interesting artists. And this work was kind of like relating to the whole exhibition was relating to the social upheaval that's happened during the kind of first and second waves of the pandemic, and what needs to change from like Black Lives Matter movements to abolition of indentured systemic racism and all these kind of aspects. So that the exhibition kind of highlighted artists who were making work in that respect. And yeah, it was with Hunter that I originally commissioned the sculpture. So that's my three works. Should we?
I think I'm not sure if we have a lot more time because we've been speaking for a while. So just let us know. Perhaps we could just finish up and say, we're working collaboratively, also working individually. Like as Tom explained, his influences are really coming from very specific places. I'm also working from the perspective of feminism and intersectional feminism, specifically questioning my own privilege, how my body is represented in the work that I create, where I feature myself. So the white body that I inhabit, and that really informs a lot of the work, although it's maybe not so obvious if you don't read up about my work. So I'm very happy to have a moment if anyone has any questions. And anyone wants to know more about what we're doing next. The next few things that are coming up for us, it seems like we're going to have some web VR projects exhibited here on a platform. Well, we can't really talk about it, but it will be confirmed soon, but in a festival that should be accessible all over the world, which is exciting. I personally have also worked on a really exciting desktop opera, which will be released, I think, next week, talking about the pandemic from the perspective of a nurse and a rapper and anyway, so that's something else. But we have different projects that
I have a collaborative VR artwork that's going to be exhibited in Espronceda in Barcelona on Tuesday, and we're pitching to Ars Electronica on Monday. So fingers crossed we get accepted for that. But you can find out all information through the Tempsspace Instagram link. It's probably the best source, and then link to our own individual accounts through that, and the NFT.
Yeah, and we're based in Montreal, Canada. So if anyone is around here, we're happy to say hi. We're otherwise from Europe, and I'm also from Jamaica, and so we're always looking around for more ways to speak with people from different cultural spaces and create more connections through the digital platforms that we work in, which has been the kind of major plus of working online with a lot of new people this year. So thanks a lot for having us.
Yeah, please contact us. We'd love to chat and help out and build community.
In WebVR, we love to be in WebVR and build communities that way. So thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Olivia. This was wonderful. So you know what? Why don't you send the link to your Instagram and to your website on the chat here so that everyone in the audience can see it? I think that's great. And then at the end, we will have time for questions. But if anyone has questions in the meanwhile, please ask them on the chat and send your emails if you want to be contacted. And for everyone in the audience, we will also share a link to all the booths that we will see today with some information. So thank you so much, Tom and Olivia. I think now we are moving on to our next artist. So Botina, if you want to start. Botina?
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
I'm here.
How are you?
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Hi, great to have you. So same format. So if you tell me where you would like to start, we can start the conversation.
Thank you. Well, I would start by introducing myself. My name is Yamid Botina. I'm based in Pasto, Colombia right now. This is in South America. And this first piece you're looking at is called Caracas Club. This is, I have a background, which is, it comes from graphic designing and also music production. So the pandemic hit me really hard because I used to go on, performing as a DJ and visuals and stuff. So this new reality kind of left me stuck in my room, in my studio. But I try to make the best of it. And this video clip you're watching right now, it's got my own music. And I had to work on this video clip for something like 6 months. This is all done in open source software, which is called Blender. And it was really difficult to, for instance, to sync the mouth of this doll, of this robot with the words, with the lyrics. I had to learn everything from scratch. It was a very hard job, but I loved it in the end. It's part of my. I've always been very fascinated with symbolism. And this video clip has got a lot of symbolism in it. It's got the rainbows. Well, what we're watching right now is just a little snippet from the whole video. The whole video is like 4 minutes long. It tells the story about the human spirit. The main character has no arms, has got glasses on. It's a woman, because a woman, they have the ability to give life, to birth. So new life comes when you start to unleash all of your abilities, to get rid of your own of the interferences in your own vision. And this is what the video is about. It's about this woman growing arms and building a whole landscape out of nothing. It starts with she starts surrounded by a white, let's say canvas, by a white environment. She's got nothing in front of her, so she starts picturing in her mind where does she want to go. And so she starts growing up arms. She starts growing these landscapes around her, and the sun, the sky starts to transform. And in the end, she's got arms and legs, and she starts flying towards the infinite, towards the sky. This is the first of 2 videos which make one whole of a story. If you want, we can move on to the next one, which is, let me tell you which one it is. Could you scroll down a little bit more, please? The one with the car. And yeah, that's right. On the left, at the bottom, yeah. Thank you. This is the second part of this concept. This video clip is called Flashback, Felices en Ipiales. This video clip is the continuation of the first one of Caracas Club. This one tells a story about what happens when once we find that we've got everything, that we have no limitations on ourselves. So in this video clip, I wanted to express that once we have to transform ourselves. So this lady in the first video had no arms, had no legs. She became fully legged, fully armed, and then she became this kind of car, this kind of red car. It's red because when you start a new life, you come out from your mom, from your mother. You come with blood, right? So this is like the new human being, starting its journey on life. So this car, which represents human life, being born, starts its own journey in order to reach the mission, in order to reach the the destiny of its own life. So in the end, we all come here to improve ourselves. We all come here to become a better version of ourselves, and this is only done through love. So the video, in the end, it shows one man kissing a woman. This means once we reach what we love, it doesn't necessarily mean that a person is what we love, right? But an idea and an ideal. So when you reach that, you become complete in this life. We may go on to the next one. Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. This artwork is called "True Love Demands True Sacrifices." At the time, I was living in a place surrounded by nature, and some things had happened in my life. When I walked, this was a very sunny and warm place. The sky was always blue, and when I used to walk around this place, there were some trees that had leaves like those that you can see in the artwork. And that's when it struck me. I was in the middle of a situation in my life, and that's when it hit me, when I understood that if I wanted to step up to whatever situation I was in my life, I had to sacrifice whatever I was doing. So that's when I understood that true love demands true sacrifices. That happens when life has a way of testing ourselves if our words match our actions, and true love demands true sacrifices is the understanding that comes after having one situation like those. We may go on to the next one. This artwork is called Rosario. Rosario means like a group of several roses. It was inspired by a poem written by Argentinian writer Jorge Luis Borges, which talks about the flowers in paradise, which says kind of, this is a rough translation. This morning I felt the incredible fragrance of the roses of paradise. And so this is someone who wakes up to this wonderful smell of the roses of the paradise. We can go into the next one if you want. This artwork is called Principles because each sphere is traveling, let's say, on white and black lines. These lines represent the dualities of life, light and darkness, happy and sad, and all of that. And each sphere represents one aspect of the spirit, as the human mind, the flesh, the animal spirit, the conscience, and the faith. So this is what it represents. Every one of these aspects going through the different aspects of life. It's an animation, a loop made also in Blender. I work with open source software, as I said before. And I like the aesthetics of this one. It was inspired kind of, I was looking at the time at some ads by, I don't remember exactly what, but it was like some ancient ads by perfumes and stuff like that. So I took these aesthetics and tried to imprint them on this artwork. We may go on to the next one. Thank you. This artwork is, could you probably shrink it a little, make it smaller? Is it possible? Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. This artwork is about number 3. The number 3 was a sacred number for the Greeks. It represented the mind, the body, the soul, life, birth, and death. And this constant loop represents the human understanding, flying or soaring over the different dichotomies of life, represented by the checkered floor, and going on forever in the middle of the absolute truths, which are represented by the columns. This is kind of an homage to the ancient Greeks. I am a deeply interested person in the mythologies and this kind of knowledge. So this is one way of representing my understanding on this. We may go on to the next one. This artwork is called Smooth Cubicle. This was actually a challenge, a very interesting challenge, because when I found out about Cadaf, about the digital art fair, about the digital art month, to be more specific, I set my mind to be there, to participate. So I kept thinking, okay, what can I do in order to be there? And this idea came to mind. I started studying. I started trying to get to know how could I translate this this idea onto a real scenario through our mobile phones. And so it was. This is also, of course, an AR filter, which is part of the Digital Art Month, and I'm so glad that I made it. We can go on to the next one. Thank you. This is a video clip called Rêverie. Rêverie is a French word which stands for dreaming while being awake. It talks about, it is about people, you know, when sometimes you just get lost in your thoughts, on your memories, and memories and dreams have resemble each other, because after some time, when you wake up, you try to remember your dream, but you remember it as every single time you remember it, you change some details. And when you have a very fond memory, over time you start changing as well some details, and memories end up resembling dreams because you never remember them as they were. You remember them as you want them to be. So this video clip is about this idea about someone who misses her another person, and wakes up in the middle of the night, of a very dark night, and all the things that he starts to see in front of him are his memories, represented on the teles, on the TVs. So this is what it is about how memories end up resembling dreams.
Great, thank you so much for this. This was wonderful. So if you want to share any of your links here in the chat, we can all go and look at them after. So now we're going to our next exhibitor. So Tolmie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you. Yeah, firstly, just want to thank Cadaf for including me in the crypto digital art fair. It's a really cool experience and quite new for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll kind of just, yeah, sum up, overview everything, and then we can go through some work. So if you just scroll down a little bit, so these first 7 images, static images you see, if you just hold the frame, don't click into them, but just scroll up a little bit so we can see all 7 together, if that's cool. Yeah, that's perfect. Cheers. So my background is I did a Masters of Digital Media, like specifying in video art back in Australia, and also VJing. And so really my art practice has been this blending of VJ culture as well as sort of fine art practice. I'm now based in Cologne, Germany, which, yeah, having the access to Europe has been great. Not the last 18 months, but there has been other access to amazing museums and things since I've been here. But my art practice has really been on, so these first 7 prints, which are all light boxes, which are currently for sale at the art fair, they all came from a single video work. So they actually came from a video album that I was creating for a band back in Australia, where I wanted to represent the music of this album in a non-representative way, but a textural way to give it another layer for the band's release. And yeah, that project never was released, but I still had this huge catalogue of interesting video works. So this kind of started to change my art practice a bit, in that I'd start to skip through videos kind of frame by frame, just to actually see in more detail what was happening between all the different frames. So the way that I processed, so all those images were actually originally X-rays and CT scans. And so then I stitched them together like a PNG sequence, and then I'd run them through either Maximus P, Jitter, or Resolume, some VJ programs. And I really like to explore and play with video in real time because of this VJ background, and the connection of music to visuals for me is always very strong. So when I'm practicing and exploring things, I like to just constantly move fast, but just constantly experiment. And then when I find something that becomes interesting to me, I'll record that out and then usually ingest that back in again, and then continually distort and manipulate and destruct to try and rebirth new images from what their source images were so far away from in the beginning. So the way that I've kind of structured the booth is, I start with the prints, which are from like 2018. And then if you just scroll down a bit just before, don't click on it yet, but just to give an idea. So then this oil dancer piece we will go into soon, but I've kind of laid it out linearly, where this is kind of an overview of the last 4 to 5 years of my art practice to sort of show its evolution. So if we now go into the first piece of video, Oil Dancer, if that comes up. So yeah, this piece is a single channel of a 3-channel video installation. So I also work as a video editor as well as VJ. So the notion of time has always found interesting, because philosophically, there's the ideas of time as an arrow, and we're always moving forward. As a video editor, time is laid out in this left to right manner. So with this piece, I filmed with a fan dancer, and I really tried to fold time back upon itself. So the idea is to see, obviously we can't project into the future, but the idea is like future, past and present all melding upon itself. So there is no linear time, it's this constant cyclical time. And also this piece, when it's set up in a three-channel installation with accompanying music, the idea is to create a meditative, I don't have a supporting still for that, sorry, but you can find more documentation on my website, which is down in the information. But I try to create an environment of meditation and calm. And what was super flattering when this piece has been exhibited, it's been exhibited here in Germany, back in Australia. It'll be exhibited in Venice at the Arte Laguna Prize as well, which is quite cool. But the idea of this piece is to, even though there are clear dip to blacks where there's the loop point, what I found interesting is when audiences sit within this piece, they actually, it's only a 9-minute 45-second loop, but some people sat with it for an hour, some people sat 20 minutes, some people sat only 4 minutes, but the people that sat, they actually really, they didn't realize how long they'd sat with it. So even their experience of time kind of eroded away, and they didn't realize they were constantly in this loop and were just having this sense of calm. So yeah, this idea of trying to erode time through a tone-based medium is also, yeah, another thing that interests me within my practice. If we scroll down again, please. So if we click this next video, yeah. So this was, yeah, further similar to timeline of when I was working on Oil Dancer, and it was still this notion of trying to fold time upon itself. So this was footage that I captured of an Australian coastline with a drone, just a top-down drone shot, and then have manipulated the footage so the water and the rocks are constantly bleeding and washing through each other. What's been quite interesting is, as a video artist, it's always, I've never been truly a fan of like single channel video works, even though that's predominantly my body of work, because they're usually presented in a cinema style of, within a gallery there'll be a dark room with benches, single channel audio. I really want video, or the videos that I work on, to step away from this historical linkage to cinema and stand as their own. And I find it really interesting in contemporary spaces now, especially like with NFTs and stuff, but there are curated video hosting websites where, rather than a canvas, a painting or drawing or photograph, screens are being, so Black Dog, for example, all their stuff, where screens are replacing these, so you can have a constantly refreshing or evolving piece of art, which yeah, I find super, super exciting. And some of these works have already been picked up by such platforms. If we now skip to the next two videos. So these two, they're quite glitchy. So just if anyone, I don't think they shouldn't induce any epilepsy, but they are quite, these pieces are specifically exploration of just new glitch for me. So these pieces are my contemporary current body of work. So this and the next one, where once more following from earlier practice of VJ and exploring video, I'm just learning new tools and re-exploring previous works, and just further going down the route of processing an individual piece of video until it creates a new materiality of abstract through just a 2D screen, just through a 16:9 rectangle. So yeah, these are my current body of work that I'm exploring, and yeah, a few more of these will be rolling out in the coming months. Yeah, if you could just skip to the next one. They're all a bit slow loading, apologies. So once more, it's just, I'm always trying to fold video upon itself, fold time upon itself. And now if we just skip to the last image. So this piece was, yeah, 2019, 2020, when it finally loads up. So this piece was, yeah, once more, another evolution from just other practices of exploring new video experiments from a VJ kind of perspective. So I was using one VJ program, Z-Vector, I think, with a Microsoft Xbox Connect, just to, because I wanted to try and look at point clouds and things like this. Ended up creating a quite an interesting work out of that experiment, but then it still wasn't 100% there for me. And what I ended up doing was, once more, recording out the bits that I was happy with, and then going through frame by frame to see interesting just textures. And then what I did when I actually had a series of just stills, I actually projected these through a hologauze screen and then photograph those. So I really also like to take the digital work, present it in a physical world, recapture it, remanipulate it, and kind of do that as many times as it takes until I find something interesting, or sometimes it works straight out of the box by the first single time. So this piece as well, Texture of Codex, the name is, what I was really trying to explore is, so historically, like artists Nam June Paik, he really explored like the physicality of video by putting magnets on machines to warp the actual electromagnetic field. And I find that stuff super, super fascinating, because video for me too is not so much, I don't want it to be didactic. So I'm really trying to look at, making it abstract, but the materiality of a digital work. So this for me was, metaphorically trying to give digital video a texture, or like, what is this internal universe of digital video? So I was trying to give the digital space a texture within this sort of universe of just electronic pulses of zeros and ones. So this piece is a series of 15 or 20 prints, as well as a video piece, which can be presented as an installation. So it's also, I like to present these works ideally as an installation space, where it's a all-encompassing space with audio, video, and then stills, but then lends itself to online display where you can see each piece individually as well. That's it essentially from me, from my booth. And I'm always open for new collaborations, and I love collaborating with people, and I'm always excited about new projects and new experimentation. So hit me up via Cadaf, or go to my website or Instagram. There's always more work on Instagram. I'm keeping that more routinely updated. But just the notion of folding time is really kind of the core narrative through my art practice. So thank you. Back to you, Andrea.
Thank you, Tolmie. No, this is fantastic. Yeah, I'm sure you will find a lot of very interesting collaborators in Cadaf. So if you go on Tolmie's booth, just send him a message or leave your email in his address book. And now, last but not least, we are going to see YAAK. So YAAK, are you here? Hello, how are you? I think you're muted.
So now it's working.
Perfect.
Because
now
I'm
we
in
can
the computer. Yeah, also, thank you.
Awesome. So same format, so we can start here.
Yeah. Please choose your. Can you go back to the last screen to see the entire? Yeah. I suppose if you click here, please choose your favorite.
Pick my favorite. Oh my God, this is hard. Let me see. I really like this one.
Great.
The colors here.
Very good. Very good. So I'll try explaining about the why so many hashtags, because it's something that all ask me, why so much information in each card. To start talking about this, talk about Carnival. Most people think about Carnival like a colorful party and a lot of fantasies. But the Carnival parade has a lot of rules to happen. So each samba school has a time to be in the parade, and the rules to the fantasies, and so it's too much rules to this Carnival. So in the series, I'm trying to recreate, to simulate these rules by using artificial intelligence. So that's why we have so many hashtags and information. I'll try to explain about the informations and in the card and the process. In the first layer, we see the what I call the artwork. What's the creation? That's the creation from a generative adversarial network. So I use it. Thousands of images from Carnival, from I use a computer vision to process these images to extract exactly the couple, the flag bearer, and the master of ceremony. That's the porta-bandeira in Portuguese, and the master. And I trained this network to recreate these images. So now we have 10,000, about 10,130 images, and that are our creations. So with these creations, I have now many images. I know that these images are unique, but the process is trying to find how unique each image really is. How are the rare pieces? What is rarity in this creation? So I started creating another process with these images using other layers of computer vision, trying to extract features and categorize it and evaluate the pieces. As in Carnival, because in Carnival we have by the end of Carnival we have the result of the jury. So by these other layers evaluating the image, I created this card and all the features we can see here. So with seeing the image, we can see this numbers in the image. They are indicating the process, like what they call the signature of the artwork. There are information about the clusters, about the data sets, about the levels of movement in the data set, like this T3, 3, B, C, D, E, E, S is a level of how blurred are the images in the original data set I used to train. So I tried a data set that better capture the movement to have this kind of blurred images. The epochs we trained, in the evaluation of the artificial intelligence, size, and file dimensions. And so this is a signature, and then go into the card to we have the number, that's the order of the output of the first layer, the generative adversarial network, or like this is the order of creation, let's say this, and the processor, like GAN, CNN, neural network object detection. And then I will have the series, the series and the AI block. This is the interesting part of the work, I think, because the series, once I created a layer with computer vision to evaluate the images and to identify objects in the images. Now I know which combination is not possible, or like in the real Carnival, the master of ceremonies never carries the flag, only the flag bearer. But in the outputs of the generative adversarial network, we have a master of ceremonies with the flag. So this is a kind of rarity, and I think that's not possible in the real Carnival. And then we identifying those rarities with the evaluations. Now we have groups, like the gold series, special groups, and silver groups, and silver series, and the bronze and access groups. Like in the Carnival, these are the same names we use in the Carnival parade to identify which schools are better evaluated. So in the cards in the summer, it's the same. The special group is the cards that have the best evaluation by the artificial intelligence. And so we go to the others. And then we created the price. The price was created by an algorithm to identify these rarities, identify the evaluation of the artificial intelligence, and give a price to the collection, to each item. So that's why the items like have the special are in the special group have a higher price, and the access group, that's no one exhibited here, are with the lowest prices. It's a kind of trying to create a price by the rarity, this latent space of artificial intelligence. And the last thing interesting is the AI block, like Cornetas do Jalapão, as you can see in the image, because they are like a combination of two clusters. Corneta is one cluster with 8. I use an algorithm to extract, to combine images in clusters with different densities, different deeps. So Corneta is like the 8, the 6, the 8 deep depth in the hierarchical cluster, and Jalapão the 6. So by combining them, we have 130 around 130 AI blocks that simulates the names of blocks, combining name related to the carnival and the name related to a place in Brazil. So creating an entire new name based on the combination of items. So in the last, it's not possible because the image is cropping. We have the AI score, that the score of each element in the image, like the flag bearer, the master, and the flag. And the combination creates the evaluation by the end. It's like a big game, like a big combination of information to now categorize all the images. So I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, YAAK. This is fascinating. I was wondering a lot about what a lot of this meant, and now like they're fantastic, and the colors are so gorgeous. So thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
So as mentioned before, we will be posting this in our Cadaf TV and also sharing the link with everyone. Thank you all that were here today. We are so lucky and so honored to have such amazing exhibitors. We've never had stronger art in Cadaf. And we are so happy to be able to share this with a bigger audience. So if anybody has any questions or comments or just wants to say hi to some of the exhibitors, Elizabeth, can they unmute themselves so that they can ask questions? Let's see. Checking here. Okay. So I think this is great. And if anybody has any questions, be sure to send us an email to hello@cadaf.art or send a question directly to all the exhibitors that presented today. So thank you so much. And we will keep seeing you during the rest of the fair.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.